The room went silent. For most of us, high school drama was the biggest battle we'd faced. But he waited patiently, creating a safe space for us to be vulnerable. Slowly, a few students shared stories, small acts of defiance against peer pressure, moments of standing up for a friend. He listened to each one with such genuine interest, nodding and validating their feelings. He wasn't grading our courage, he was acknowledging it. That day, he taught me that my voice, however small, had value. He encouraged me to join the debate team, telling me, "Your quiet thoughts are powerful. They just need a platform." It was terrifying, but I did it because he believed in me. Years later, I found myself in a tough situation at work. I had to speak up about an issue that was unfair, and I was scared of the consequences. My heart was pounding, and every instinct told me to stay quiet, to just let it go. But then I thought of Mr. Blake. I remembered his lesson on courage, on the importance of standing up for what's right. I heard his voice in my head, as clear as day, encouraging me. So I took a deep breath and I spoke up. It wasn't easy, but it was the right thing to do. That's the echo of a great teacher. It's not about remembering the dates of historical events or memorizing formulas, but it's about the values they instill in you, the confidence they build, and the lessons that resonate long after you've left their classroom. Mr. Blake taught me that literature isn't just words on a page. It's a mirror to our own humanity. He taught me that empathy, integrity, and courage are the most important subjects of all. His lessons weren't on any syllabus, but they've been my guide through life's most challenging exams. He showed me that a single person's belief in you can be the catalyst for your own self-belief. It's a powerful ripple effect. The encouragement he gave me is the same encouragement I now try to give to others. His legacy isn't just in the students who passed his class. It's in the kindness they show, the courage they display, and the integrity they uphold. So, to all the teachers out there like Mr. Blake, thank you. Thank you for seeing the person behind the student. Thank you for teaching the lessons that aren't in the textbooks. The echoes of your teaching are shaping a better world, one student at a time. Who was your Mr. Blake? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear about the teachers who changed your life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time. Have you ever had a teacher who changed your life? Not just with the subjects they taught, but with the lessons they shared about life itself. For me, that teacher was Mr. Howard Blake. He was my high school English teacher, but honestly, he taught me more about being a decent human being than he ever did about Shakespeare, though he was brilliant at that too. Mr. Blake had this quiet, unassuming presence, but when he spoke, everyone listened. He had a way of seeing the potential in every student, even the ones who tried their best to be invisible. I was one of those kids. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by the constant hustle and bustle of modern life? The endless notifications, the pressure to always be on, the feeling that you're running a race with no finish line. Well, you're not alone. Today I want to share the inspiring story of Janet Miller, a woman who decided to trade the chaos of a high-flying career for something much more valuable: peace. Janet was the classic overachiever, a top executive at a major tech firm. Her life was a whirlwind of meetings. She had the corner office, the impressive salary, the life that many people dream of. But on the inside, she felt empty and exhausted. The constant pressure was taking a toll on her health, her relationships, and her overall happiness. She described it as feeling like a ghost in her own life, just going through the motions without any real joy. One day, while stuck in traffic, staring at a sea of brake lights, she had a powerful realization. Was this it? was this relentless pursuit of more truly making her happy? The answer was a clear and resounding no. That moment was her turning point. Janet decided she needed a radical change. She didn't just want a vacation. She wanted a new life. So, what did she do? She took a brave leap. Janet resigned from her high-powered job, sold her expensive city apartment, and moved to a small, quiet town nestled in the countryside. She traded her designer suits for comfortable clothes, her high-stress meetings for long walks in nature, and her frantic schedule for the simple rhythm of a quieter life. At first, the silence was deafening. The stillness felt strange after years of constant noise. But slowly, something beautiful began to happen. She started to notice the little things she had missed before. The sound of birds in the morning, the taste of fresh vegetables from her own garden, the warmth of a conversation with a friendly neighbor. She took up hobbies she had long forgotten, like painting and baking bread from scratch. By stripping away the non-essential, Janet discovered what truly mattered to her. She learned that success isn't just about career achievements or material wealth. True success is about living a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. It's about having the time and space to connect with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. Her story teaches us a profound lesson. Simplicity restores peace. In a world that constantly tells us to do more, be more, and have more, sometimes the most courageous act is to choose less. It's about intentionally curating a life that aligns with our inner values, not with external expectations. Now, this doesn't mean everyone needs to quit their job and move to the countryside. Janet's journey is about the principle behind her actions. It's about finding ways to simplify your own life, whatever that may look like for you. Maybe it's decluttering your home, setting boundaries with technology, or dedicating just 15 minutes a day to a quiet, mindful activity. The key is to consciously remove the clutter, both physical and mental, that distracts us from what's truly important. By doing so, we create space for peace, joy, and a deeper sense of contentment to enter our lives. We start to hear our own inner voice again, guiding us toward a more meaningful existence. Janet Miller's story is a powerful reminder that we have the power to redesign our lives. We don't have to be swept away by the current of modern chaos. We can choose to step back, simplify, and rediscover the quiet, simple peace that is waiting for us all. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments how you find moments of peace in your busy life. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that inspire. See you next time. Have you ever heard of the name Walter Price? Probably not. He wasn't a celebrity or an influencer. He was a simple man, a delivery driver in Atlanta, Georgia. But his story, his quiet act of loyalty, is one that has stuck with me for years. And it's a story I think we all need to hear. It all started back in 1899. A man named John Pemberton created a new soft drink. He hired his nephew to manage it, but things didn't go well. The company was struggling, on the verge of collapse. One by one, every single employee quit. They saw a sinking ship and jumped. All of them, that is, except for one. Walter Price, the delivery driver. Why did he stay? He wasn't a shareholder. He wasn't family. He was just a driver. But he had made a promise, and he believed in the product. So he stayed, day after day, in an empty warehouse. Walter was the only one who showed up for work. He kept making deliveries, kept the faith when no one else would. A few months later, a pharmacist named Asa Candler heard about this struggling little company. He saw potential where others saw failure. He decided to buy it. And when he walked into the company headquarters, who was the only person there to greet him? Walter Price Candler was so moved by Walter's unwavering loyalty that he made him a promise on the spot. He said, as long as this company exists, you will always have a job here. Walter Price went on to become a key executive and a major shareholder in this revived company. He worked there for the rest of his life, becoming a wealthy and respected man. And what was the name of that little company that everyone else abandoned? The Coca-Cola Company. Think about that. Every single person who quit missed out on being part of one of the biggest success stories in history. They chose short-term safety over long-term vision. They lacked loyalty, not just to the company, but to the possibility of what it could become. Walter Price's story is a powerful lesson. It's not just about business, it's about life. Loyalty isn't just about sticking around when things are good. It's about staying true to your commitments, your beliefs, and your people, especially when things get tough. It's about seeing the value in something when everyone else has written it off. In our fast-paced world, we're often encouraged to jump from one thing to the next, the new job, the new trend, the new opportunity. We're told that loyalty is an outdated concept, but Walter Price teaches us otherwise. His legacy wasn't built on his title or his wealth. It was built on a simple, quiet act of showing up when everyone else had walked away. That single decision, that act of loyalty, didn't just change his life. It became a foundational story for one of the world's most iconic brands. It shows us that character, integrity, and loyalty are the real currencies of a meaningful life and a lasting legacy. So, the next time you're faced with a choice to stay or to go, to keep a promise or to break it, think of Walter Price. Think about the quiet power of loyalty. Because sometimes the greatest rewards don't come from chasing the next big thing, but from faithfully nurturing what's right in front of you. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that makes you think. See you next time. Have you ever felt like your job is your entire identity? Like if you lost it, you'd lose a part of yourself. It's a common feeling, but today I want to share a story that powerfully reminds us that our work doesn't define our worth. It's the story of Eugene Clark, a man who spent 43 years at a single factory, only to see it all disappear. Eugene started at the Chrysler assembly plant in Newark, Delaware, back in 1964. He was just 18 years old. For over 4 decades, that factory was his world. He poured his sweat, his time, and his energy into building cars. It was more than a job. It was a community, a rhythm, a way of life. He earned a good living, supported his family, and felt a sense of pride in his work. He was a Chrysler man through and through. Then, in 2007, the news hit. The plant was closing. After 43 years of loyal service, Eugene's career was coming to an abrupt end. Imagine that for a moment. The place you've gone to nearly every day of your adult life. The sounds, the smells, the faces you know so well all gone. It would be easy to fall into despair, to feel lost and bitter. And for a time, Eugene did feel a profound sense of loss. It was like a death in the family. The structure of his life had vanished. But this is where Eugene's story turns from one of loss to one of incredible resilience. He realized he had a choice. He could let the factory's closure define the end of his story, or he could start a new chapter. He chose the latter. Instead of seeing himself as just an ex-factory worker, he began to see himself as Eugene Clark, a man with hobbies, passions, and a future. He threw himself into his community. He became a deacon at his church, dedicating his time to helping others. He had always loved photography, so he picked up his camera and started documenting the world around him, capturing moments of beauty and life. He wasn't just killing time, he was rediscovering parts of himself that had been dormant for years. He found joy in simple things, like spending more time with his family and mentoring younger people in his neighborhood. Eugene's story is such a powerful lesson. So many of us tie our self-esteem to our job titles, our salaries, or our career achievements. We introduce ourselves by what we do, not who we are. But when that job is gone, what's left? Eugene shows us what's left: our character, our relationships, our passions, and our ability to contribute to the world in ways that have nothing to do with a paycheck. He learned that his worth was never about the cars he built. It was about his integrity, his kindness, and his spirit. The factory gave him a living, but it didn't give him his life. He built that himself, both during his 43 years on the assembly line and, most importantly, in the years that followed. So, next time you're feeling stressed about work or worried about your career path, remember Eugene Clark. Remember that you are more than your job. You are a unique individual with a wealth of talents and passions. Your value isn't determined by a company or a title. It's inherent. It's in who you are, how you treat others, and the joy you find and create in the world. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that I hope will inspire you. See you in the next one. Have you ever felt like your job is your entire identity? Like if you lost it, you'd lose a part of yourself. It's a common feeling, but today, have you ever felt like you were talking to a wall? You're pouring your heart out, but the other person just isn't getting it. Or maybe you've been on the other side, hearing the words, but missing the meaning. Today, we're going to talk about a woman named Nancy Reed and her powerful life lesson, real listening. The kind that truly heals relationships. Nancy wasn't a therapist or a communication expert. She was a grandmother, a friend, a neighbor, someone just like you or me. But she had this incredible gift. When you talked to Nancy, you felt seen. You felt heard. Not just your words, but the feelings behind them, the hesitations, the sighs, the things you couldn't quite bring yourself to say out loud. Nancy heard those too. I remember a story about her and her teenage grandson, Leo. Leo was going through a tough time at school. He was withdrawn, moody, and would only give one-word answers. His parents were worried, trying everything from lectures to threats, but they were only pushing him further away. They were hearing his silence, but they weren't listening to it. One afternoon, Nancy invited Leo over to help her in the garden. For a long time, they worked in comfortable silence, just pulling weeds and turning soil. Nancy didn't pepper him with questions. She didn't demand to know what was wrong. She just created a safe space. Finally, Leo spoke. He said, "I hate school." His parents would have jumped in with, "Don't say that," or "School is important." But Nancy simply paused, looked at him, and said, "It sounds really hard right now." She didn't judge. She didn't try to fix it. She just validated his feeling. That little bit of validation was like opening a floodgate. Leo started talking. He talked about feeling invisible, about the pressure to fit in, about a friend who had betrayed him. He wasn't just talking about school. He was talking about his pain. Nancy listened to it all. She didn't offer advice unless he asked. She just listened, nodding, and occasionally saying things like, "That must have hurt," or "I can understand why you'd feel that way." She was hearing what was unsaid, When Leo said, "I hate school," Nancy heard, "I'm lonely and I feel like a failure." By listening to the emotion, not just the words, she gave him the space to work through it himself. That single conversation didn't magically solve all his problems, but it changed everything. It reconnected him with his family and gave him the strength to face his challenges. This is the power of listening. It's not about waiting for your turn to talk. It's not about having the perfect answer. It's about being fully present for another person. It's about putting your own ego, your own agenda, and your own advice on the shelf for a moment, and just offering your attention. This kind of listening says, "You matter. Your feelings are valid. I am here with you." Think about a relationship in your life that feels strained. Maybe with a partner, a child, or a friend. Before you try to solve the problem, try listening. Ask an open-ended question like, "How are you really feeling about this?" And then just be quiet. Listen to the words. Listen to the silences. Listen to the sighs. Try to hear the emotion underneath. You might be surprised at what you discover. Nancy Reed taught us that listening is an act of love. It's a gift that costs nothing but can mend the deepest wounds. It's how we hear what is unsaid and, in doing so, heal our most important relationships. Thank you so much for watching today. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that hopefully makes us all a little more connected. See you next time. Have you ever felt like you were talking to a wall? You're pouring your heart out, but the other person just isn't getting it. Or maybe you've been on the other side, hearing the words, but missing the meaning. Today, we're going to talk about a woman named Nancy Reed and her powerful life lesson, real listening. The kind that truly heals relationships. Have you ever felt like you're completely on your own? Like the world has forgotten you? That's exactly how Raymond Collins felt. At 76 years old, he was living in a home that was literally falling apart around him. The roof leaked, the paint was peeling, and the front porch was so rotted it was dangerous to even step on it. Every day was a struggle, a constant reminder of his loneliness and the weight of his problems. He was on a fixed income, and the cost to repair his home was a mountain he just couldn't climb. He felt invisible, trapped in a cycle of decay and despair. Raymond had lived in his Cincinnati neighborhood for decades. He'd seen kids grow up, families move in and out, and the seasons change year after year. But as time went on, he grew more and more isolated. He kept to himself, too proud and perhaps too weary to ask for help. His neighbors would see him, a quiet figure tending to his overgrown yard, but they didn't really know the extent of his struggle. They saw a deteriorating house, but they didn't see the deteriorating hope of the man living inside. To them, he was just Mr. Collins, the old man at the end of the block. Then, one day, something shifted. A neighbor, seeing the state of Ramon's porch, decided to do more than just walk by. He started a conversation, a real one. He didn't just ask, "How are you?" and move on. He stopped, he listened, and he saw. For the first time in a long time, Raymond felt seen. This single act of connection was like a tiny crack of light in his dark